Good morning. It's September the 7th, 2024, and this is the Wall Street Weekly Wrap Up, not paid by the Russians. This is your host, John Newquist. And let's talk about the week. Oh my God, the Bulls beaten up by the big, ugly bear. And you made it through the week. That's good. But I was looking at it. Wall Street's one of the few places where stocks are on sale and everybody runs out the door. So we bought one, because I'm always going to buy when you have a bad week. Add to the starter positions. It started out with NVDA Monday. DOJ is subpoenaing antitrust. We know the big four are buying NVIDIA chips, the H200. Demand is 40%. It's out the window. That's Meta, that's Amazon, that's Google, and that's Microsoft. Well, they called up NVIDIA and they said, we didn't get any subpoena. But that doesn't matter. The market was wanting to crash, and it did. And it went down. It went down almost every day, and it was an ugly week. But I keep on looking at this 200-day moving average is a number. We are going to add to NVIDIA if it gets down back to the 90s, low 90s. It didn't get there over here, this low here, and that's why this is the support number, 100. Everybody's looking at it. September, we'll talk about how bad September is. You just have to remember, you can buy it. And one of the numbers I heard from the analyst, and I'm not sure I can prove it, I'd have to go back and do a lot of back testing, and I don't think it's worth it. But if you bought any party in the last 4 years on election day, you made double-digit returns from that election day. Think about it. And it makes sense. It makes sense. We got to get through September, though. Intel, Bloomberg reports may remove from the Dow Index. I've been hammering, put NVIDIA in, put Intel out. There's a difference. At one time, Intel was like 10 times bigger than NVIDIA, and now it's the other way around. It's by far not in there. And, of course, they may split up. They may sell some of their other assets, and kind of like a declining stock. But I always watch Intel's chip is not as bad as the Grace Hopper. It is pretty close in the testing. So they have the ability to make a good chip. It's just they can't produce the damn thing and train people with the new chip. So we'll see. And, like I said, there's the Ohio data center. They're complaining they can get any money from the CHIPS Act. Well, they will next year. In the next 12 months, Intel will get billions of dollars, which will help them to start the Ohio area. That's why they said, I was wondering why they were postponing. Well, they said, I didn't get any money. How am I going to build a new data center? And I mean, not the data center, but the manufacturing plant in Ohio if I don't have the money? Because they certainly don't have the money when they're down here. I mean, you think about it. You had $50 and you've dropped down to 18. Ooh, not good. The market was bloody. I mean, remember, these numbers were 18 last week. So you can imagine how bad it is. I put the Qs up, triple Qs. And again, it kind of almost looked like the NVIDIA chart. It's coming up. Here's the number. We're getting close, 440. This is the number they want to see hold. I said, we got to go back to this number here. We're on about 428. That's the support. And, like I said, they always give you a chance to come in on these stocks. So don't need to buy at the high. Don't need to buy when it's like way above the 200-day moving average. Like I told you in August and July, don't buy then. Wait till it comes down, because it always does. The interest rate, wow, look at the interest rates. You're not going to get anything on these market money treasuries and stuff. Wow, 3.5. It was in the fours forever. Crude oil, boom. This is the oil chart here. Look at this thing. It is way below. We got to go back, a couple years to get down to this level. Alexa, stop.
This is a reminder.
Alexa, stop.
Pay bills.
Alexa, stop. Gotta love Alexa. Let's get back started here. The natural gas, still high. It'll go below 2. But winter's coming too, so maybe not. Gold still hanging 2,500. Silver's in 28. Copper's still barely above $4. Again, China news is ugly. People are saying China is not good. It's just limping along. Real estate's dead. Unemployment's high. They don't even put the unemployment rates. They lie about everything anyway. So, big trouble. And if they have tariffs, they're going to have even less imports in the United States and stuff. The ISM Manufacturing Index. I don't look at this as a big number, but it did affect the market. It made it go down a little lower. The came in at below 50, which is the manufacturing contraction, as they call it, and fifth straight months and 21st out of 22nd new orders. That's what I watch. New order manufacturing now 44%, so it's low. Contraction in the manufacturing sector is not good. It's probably no different than China, no different than most of the other countries. People are buying stuff, but I just watched Solanta say, well, it's on us, the president. It's on me. I made so many of these cars, and now we have a glut of autos. 2022, I couldn't find an auto. I went to the Chevy dealer. They have 2 Cruzes, and I didn't want to buy no Cruze. And of course, other dealers are saying they're charging markups. Holy smokes! You want to buy a car? Well, you're gonna pay an extra $1,000 for it, just us to order you a car. Really? An extra $1,000? I did it because everybody was doing it. I do it. It wasn't just one dealer. So now they got plenty of deals, and it's going to get worse if you're going to sell new cars, because the new cars have to come down. They got to cut deals to get these lots empty. But they won't get them empty. It's wintertime, and people are having troubles with the money. Broadcom, they always talk about, oh, this is a great stock. I mean, I watch Mr. Hype talk about how this is in his club and this is a stock you got to buy. It uses AI. Does it buy chips? It's not in the top 4. It makes it easier for the customers, but to me, it's third tier. You start with NVDA, ARM, and Taiwan Semiconductor. They're making the chip, and then the big 4 I talked about. They're using the chips now, and they're buying it in massive quantity. Then you got third tiers like Broadcom. So people don't like to hear it, and they think I'm beating it up. I says, well, but it isn't. It isn't a big buyer of these chips, not like the big 4. And they put it in, and they sell servers and all these other things that I just don't think. But the revenues, look at this, is good, but it dropped. It guided lower. Woo! You downside guided in this market right now, you drop like a rock. So now, will it go below the 200-day moving average? Because that's not a good sign. You don't want to be like Qualcomm and do that and go through it. The monthly returns in September, I just put it up because, it's famous. You look at a couple months and stuff, this is the month you don't want to buy. February is a little bit lower, May. That's why I say buy in May, go away, come back in October. Well, you could miss some of these other returns, but this is a tough month. And that's why I said you buy in November, look at this. You're going to get good December, January, and then a couple minor months, but you can really run, almost from November to this August. So we're in it. We're in it forever. So we're not going to sell, but just remember, when it goes down, it's a seasonal thing a lot of times. It's not from the earnings. Qualcomm, I talk about 200-day moving average. This is the red mark. This is where it broke it, and now it's going below it. And they think Apple is going to go from QCOM Alliance because it's a big customer of QCOM. And, again, they're not going to put the AI Grace Hopper chip in a phone. It's too big. You have to have an iPad the size of a briefcase to sit there and have that Grace Hopper chip. And then the damn thing will be $80,000. So you're not going to have a Grace Hopper chip in a phone. The phone is just going to be acting to the data center. That's why, the AI thing is being overhyped on the phone. And I don't think we're going to have this revolution on there. If they can make a chip that can be a pseudo AI chip that's faster, makes your phone do more things quicker, that's a different issue. The job reports, unemployment's 4.2%, 142,000. Remember, we were at 300,000, 400,000 a month. It's slowing down. And the issue that also, remember, this is Friday's number. It made it go down much lower. It was positive, and the number came out, and it just dropped like a rock. The idea is that downward revision of the other 2 months means it really is slowing economy. I mean, I have people that cannot get a job, and they're like, I thought it was easy to get a job. I says, yeah, last year, this year, it's pretty tight. They're hiring. There's a lot of hiring, but it's a little bit tougher. And it's not like you're getting people that can walk and talk and working at your company. You're going to be selective now. U.S. Steel X, second tier steel company when it was number 1 for years. I think Cleveland Cliffs and Nucor are in much better shape than they are, and Nippon Steel is going to buy it, which is, it's a good company and it's going to manage it, and it was great. It's $50 stock, and boom, Biden's going to oppose it. A lot of people are going to oppose it. And this thing just dropped down. I mean, it rocketed down to $27. I mean, you think about something you owned in January and it's down 50%. That's painful. Is it going to get better? I don't think so. Steel's overcapacity in the world, and they're dumping steel, and it's a tough time to be in steel companies. If you're going to buy one, just buy Nucor, but it's not good. You have to look at, are we getting a better economy? Not if the manufacturing index is slowing down. And then this month, or this week, we're focusing on our REITs are building. I tore apart the whole REIT index. I don't like the REIT index. I call it building. You're building houses, you're selling hotels, you're selling stuff. These are the stocks that relate to housing. It's all housing. Either you rent it as a REIT, you own several of them. I tracked a lot of different companies. So we own a couple of them: UDR, Vertex, and BRT. And what I watch is who did good. Look at Airbnb, man. I'm telling you, there's a lot of Airbnb millionaires buying, flipping, buying, flipping, buying, flipping until vacation slows down, and then they got the real estate taxes to pay. That's when the flippers die. When you got the big expensive property and you can't rent it and you can't cover the mortgage and the real estate taxes and the property insurance kills you, and then you go bankrupt. But look at these other ones. The other ones, Doc's up there, Kim, I mean, there's a lot of companies doing good, and there's other ones just struggling to buy with office buildings they can't rent out. So it's tough. So let's take a look at our three ones. This one, the REIT index. I used the Vanguard REIT index because, look, at the REITs have done well. I mean, if you came in January, let's say right here, you're still above. You were smart enough to buy at the November lows, you're okay. I mean, you're not making a killing, but if you bought it even at $75 and it went up to $95, geez, you did 30%. You'd be smashing the techs. You're better than the techs. Nasdaq's 11%. REITs are up 30% on average. So that's why you diversify. Who would have thought REITs would be like 2 times better than techs? Nobody. But that's why we own some. What do we have? Well, look at one of our favorites, the apartments in, I don't know why I cut it off, but UDR owns apartments, high-end apartments in the big cities, And you can argue that San Francisco's not as good, but geez, and Seattle's not as good, but they don't have anything in Chicago. But boy, you took a look at all the stuff. DC's hot, San Diego's hot, anything in Nashville, Boston, Austin, Orlando, they're doing well. So this is a stock we've been in, and it's done well for us. You can see the nice thing. It goes well as the other ones. Vertiv does all the stuff with the data centers, particularly cooling, ventilation, and they're not in every one, but they're a dominant player. I see them; they're good, and they've got a lot of competition. Remember, they're installing it, so it's something that they have to have, and it's rode up like a rocket as people got in. We're in it a long time ago, so. But it's at the 200-day moving average, and we're watching it. The data centers are going up. It's not going to slow down. So Vertiv should do well. BRT, basically Southeast. I love the Southeast because it is going super hot. When we watch where it's going, obviously Idaho is the #1 place in the country right now. And I don't think we have an Idaho REIT around, so we don't have anything to buy. But they're in Florida, Georgia, and Texas and everything else, and it's a good solid stock, and you can see it's a nice uptrend. It was hot, it came down, and it's starting to go up, and so we hopefully catch it at the right time. And then ELF, we added. Remember, when you get a market sale, pick a stock that you're low in the position, and like ELF, we're like 15% into the stock, out of our, we want to get to eventually 100% of our position, and we had some more, so we added more to it. Ulta just tanked the whole cosmetics sector. Warning, lower revenues, everything. ELF is the other way around, 50% revenue. It doesn't matter. You're in the sector that Ulta's the volume leader, and they're in trouble, but ELF's killing them. ELF is killing. The products are great at half the price. Half the price. Well, there you are. So, yeah, it's down. It's below the 200-day moving average, but we're in ELF for a while, and we're just going to build up a stake, you know. So, I mean, I always tell people, don't go put 100% in the position unless you're really, really sure. We just add into it over a period of time. It doesn't matter if it's 1-2 years, doesn't matter if it's 2 months, you know, but we just try to build in. Alpha's, you know, like I said, you know, when we want to go in and eventually hold longer. And of course, everything's red. Oh my God, except Tesla and P&G and Pepsi-Cola, but that's happened. We're going to get through September. We got maybe one more bad week, and then we should be okay. Otherwise, I'll see you next week. Have a good week, and let's not get too bloody.